I want to know if this young lady's married because she just did. I don't know how long this video is. She's doing a whole breakdown. Expat, passport bros. What difference does it make? Are you in a relationship? Are you happy? Again, is this just for views and clicks and views? Do you really care? We'll see.
Favorite countries with big economic and cultural differences. Again, Southeast Asia, Latin America, and Eastern Europe are a great example because these countries have very strong gender roles. These men tend to be more conservative and are looking for women with more traditional values. There's also a bit of a romanticized view of women in these countries and a dislike for women in their own countries. Now, this is a part where you'll expect me to hate on passport bros, but my take is a lot more nuanced than that. And also, instead of just giving you my opinion, I've also talked to a few guys in Planet Carmen who you might consider to be a passport bro. I wanted to get their opinion on why they prefer dating abroad. By the way, a fun fact is that these passport bro reels are the ones that tend to go viral on my socials. Imagine being stopped in the street answering a couple of questions and suddenly you've blown up on the internet and you are getting tons and tons of comments with people tearing you apart without actually understanding the full context. I really feel for those people because once the interview's out there, there's little I can do to control the comments or the hate that they get. Which brings me to this. Even if you don't go viral, your personal information might still be out there and it's probably out there floating around the internet. Maybe years ago you signed up for some newsletter or you purchased something online or you used your information to book a flight ticket. Now you may have forgotten about it, but your data didn't forget. And guess what? There's not much you can do about it. And this is where incognito are more and more men looking for love abroad, and do they deserve all the hate?
Hey, what's your name?
Colin.
Colin, and where are you from?
Originally Canada, but currently living here in Playa del Carmen, and I have a property in Medellin, Colombia.
I'm Robin.
And where are you from?
I'm from Switzerland.
Hey, I'm Paul from Ireland, Dublin, Ireland.
Elena
Philip.
Where are you guys from?
from Ukraine.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Why did you decide to go to Colombia?
Girl.
What is the biggest difference with dating Canadian women and, well, I guess that one Colombian experience that you've had?
I prefer Latinas. Just the kind of like the more traditional masculine, feminine roles is more prevalent in like Latin America, I find. I probably won't go back to Western women.
Men need to be real men, which is gone from American culture for the most part. If you're too manly, you're the, what is it?
Toxic masculinity.
Masculinity, yeah. So it's complete opposite.
So you like this part about dating an Eastern European woman?
Yeah, I just get to be myself, and she likes it, so it's nice.
Switzerland is very like equality and like meaning like everybody should like take care of themselves, which like I think like a lot of people like want to have. Now in retrospect, I don't want to have it anymore. There's a certain dynamic when it comes to masculine and feminine energy also, which has its place and also like can cause tension, the right type of tension between. And I think a lot of that type of tension, let's say attraction, in Switzerland between couples is not that great. Like I spend a lot of time here in Mexico now, I spend a lot of time in Switzerland, and the dynamic between men and women and like the relationship, it's night and day.
I like a more traditional masculine role, and it kind of just fits with like Latinas. I like kind of being the earner and provider, and you kind of do more of the feminine roles, like cook and clean and stuff, as bad as that sounds.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's just kind of more traditional roles, I find.
Americans have lost a lot of their cultural values. Eastern Europe, for the most part, has a very family-oriented kind of thing. Like, she's all about family. The wife will cook for the husband. In America, that's not a thing. I was telling her, like, my brother's wife cooks like 3 times a year. They just order Uber Eats every day. It's, American women are very different.
That's
То есть
expensive.
ему приятно, когда ты ему готовишь что-то или как?
Ничего ему не готовила на самом деле. Он не знает, как я готовлю.
So she says she hasn't cooked for you yet. So,
Yet. No.
but are you waiting for that moment?
Yeah, one borsch.
Now, the first reason is, of course, gender roles. You may have heard that men are leaning more conservative than women these days. Women aged 18 to 29 are now 15 percentage points more likely to identify as liberal than men, while young men are actually more likely to lean conservative than liberal, with moderate being the largest group. And understanding the male psychology, where it's incredibly important for men to feel appreciated, to feel strong and capable and respected in a relationship, will come as no surprise that a lot of American men prefer to date women that are nurturing, feminine, that make them feel strong and capable. A lot of men are under the impression that Western women are only out to use them or are only searching for a certain type of man, and as such, don't give them the time of day. Now, keep in mind that social media is only making things worse. The Financial Times points out that young men and women increasingly inhabit separate digital spaces, meaning their worldviews are being shaped in totally different ways. We all know how the algorithm works. Men keep seeing content that paints Western women as gold digging, man hating, high maintenance divas, and such, reinforcing the stereotype. The problem is, a lot of these
That is a very valid point. That is a very valid point, and I think social media has really poisoned a lot of people's mind, men and women. And she's right. She's 100% right on that perspective.
Guys are not actually going out and interacting with real life women. Over 60% of young men are single, nearly twice the rate of young women. Men in their 20s are more likely to be romantically uninvolved, sexually inactive, friendless, and lonely compared to women in the same age group. So if you're sitting at home alone and undersexed with your phone being your only friend, your entire perception of Western women is of women who are demanding Birkin bags. I mean, it's not hard to see why dating abroad might seem more appealing.
I'm not really attracted to Irish women anymore, so I'm more attracted to Asian women and Latino women. And I kind of feel like the feeling's mutual. Generally, I find their personalities not as effeminate and as sensual and sexual. When I talk to a Latina woman, I feel like super on fire, like really energized, high testosterone, and like just I could feel I'm giving good energy and smiling and joking and flirting, and I just get none of that from Irish women.
You know, like sexual dynamic, I feel like is a thing. Treat each other more like kind of like roommates that just like masturbate with each other's body, so to say. Like Switzerland, like it's routine, you know, like you day in, day out, like because everything, like you're just kind of caught in that. It doesn't seem so passionate. It doesn't seem like the dynamic is as vibrant.
The second reason is that we often crave the exotic. For a lot of men venturing out to these countries, they're looking for beautiful women with more traditional set of values. Maybe they feel more like a man around these women. And maybe, just like the Swiss guy Robin, they crave the sexual dynamics and the passion and the temperament that is not so prevalent in Switzerland. And in my opinion, there's not much of a difference with women to date in those areas, in which case I find it gross and disturbing. Taking advantage
Hold up. What did she say?
to find it. A lot of people will now argue that Western men traveling to poorer areas to find women is a slightly different story than women traveling to, say, Italy to find a man. And yes, there are definitely cases of older men specifically traveling to places like the Philippines or Thailand and finding younger women to date in those areas, in which case I find it gross and disturbing.
I didn't know the Passport Bros had a damn website, official site of the Passport Bro movement. I guess it's official now. I mean, I just read the whole thing. I paused it so you could read it too. But I didn't know they had one.
Taking advantage of anyone's situation is never okay.
I feel like my physique and my look, right, I don't get anywhere like the credit I feel, being honest, I feel I should in Ireland. I don't get any compliments here, like with my blue eyes. I'm always like, wow, your blue eyes. Even like if Irish women watch this, I guarantee there'll be negative comments about me. I look too typically and talk like a Dublin guy, and it's just not sexually attractive to them. Like my cheeky jokes and stuff just don't land with them or whatever. But I feel exactly the same way about them. I feel like they're gonna go for the bigger rugby type look guys. 7s and 8s, say in Ireland, like certainly have a higher ego. Just don't look approachable to guys, whereas like you just see this huge range of beautiful women in Latin America that are totally approachable, and there's big egos from Latinas too, but less so.
Now the next very interesting reason is supply versus demand. If you're a beautiful woman in a country like Russia or Ukraine, where there are more beautiful, intelligent women to men, some might argue that, but this is my opinion, then how do you up your chances of finding a partner? You travel abroad, less supply, more demand. Now let me give you a specific example. A friend of mine is Brazilian and she hates dating in Brazil, but not only that, her chances of finding a good partner are slimmer in Brazil. Why? Because there are so many beautiful Brazilian women. And not only that, she's just another girl in Brazil. She's not exotic. She's not different. So in order to find a partner, she used Tinder Passport to search for a partner in Sweden, but not in Stockholm. She looked for a partner in a smaller Swedish city, and now she's in a great committed relationship with a Swedish man. The point of this story isn't that you specifically need to look abroad if you want to find someone, but the point is your energy, your looks, and your style might be exotic in another country, country and is such more appreciated. Some of the comments I've seen hate on the idea of fetishizing someone, and I can attest to that. I wouldn't want to date someone who's with me simply because I come from country X. If you're with someone who is with you because you fulfill a certain sexual fantasy, say no to that relationship. But I personally don't think there's anything wrong with gravitating towards a certain culture because you like the vibe, because you like the energy, because you align with the values, or simply because
like a very impoverished area. It's a barrio like outside of Medellin. So she just was literally like grateful for everything. Like she didn't expect anything. She just worked hard for everything, and that was just something I appreciated. We worked together and got it, so I just really appreciated kind of that like humbleness, I suppose. Like I've dated women in like America and Canada, and it's usually you pay for everything, and then they also just want to do their own thing but not contribute in any manner, it seems like.
So they're expecting you to pay for everything, and yet they're like, I'm a badass woman.
Boss woman movement that
Boss bitch.
yeah, which is cool. Like if that's your jam, like all the power to you. It's just kind of not what I'm interested in. I noticed it a lot. Like I would take girls out to beautiful dinners, restaurants in like Miami, like LA, Canada, Toronto, stuff like that. And they're all I want is to thank you. And
He was dropping the bag. He was dropping the bag. My man said he was in Miami, Toronto, LA, spending money on dates and got nothing.
I think that's pretty basic from every guy. We just want appreciation. Like we'll take care of everything, just appreciate it.
If I go speak to a Latino on the beach today, it'll allow me to be funny and get myself across. An Irish girl, like within seconds, might be like, oh, you know, chill out, or like, oh, who you think you're Don Juan, or some kind of like real joke that just would not be funny to me either. And that will be at a clash.
The last point I wanted to make, and one that I think is incredibly important, is that a lot of us get stuck in an environment where we start to feel invisible. In Toronto, Canada, where I am, for example, it's not normal to approach people on the street. So if you're a man wanting to meet a woman naturally, that can be incredibly frustrating. I can imagine how hard it must be.
So, we've heard from men from around the world. Ireland, other guys from the United States dating around, and it's a universal feeling. So I don't think it's necessarily the men in the West. I think the dating scene has changed. Social media has changed things. And you hear what these men are saying. But no matter what, people are going to blame the passport bros. So that's it for this one. We just getting started. We'll do some more deep diving. But I like this channel. I like this person's perspective. You know, she gave two sides, really informative, not really bashing. I'll see you on the next one.